I know. What I know is that you're loved and lovable. You've always been loved and lovable, and you're going to be loved and lovable for the rest of your days. And even though it's been a crazy 72 hours for me here in Savannah, Georgia, I'm still showing up for love because we deserve to know that we're loved and lovable, that we've always been loved and lovable, and we're always going to be loved and lovable. And it's week 2 of the year in our programs. We're going to be talking today about grounding after burnout. And it's all about recovery, reorientation, and a gentle return to the things that we love about our lives. And I'm in a process right now of gently returning to what I love about myself and what I love about my life and the community that loves me back. And if you're out there and you've been donating your time, talent, and treasure to what we are building and how we are trying to overcome real challenges here in Savannah, Georgia, through, we'll call them interesting family affairs. Poppy Water and I have been under interesting attack, but you know, we're grounding. We're grounding. And part of that grounding is in naming what has happened. So take a breath that does not aim to fix anything today. Take a breath that does not aim to fix anything. Let your body arrive before your thoughts do. If you are here with me today, know that it is enough. Today, we're going to begin by telling the truth gently. Like I told you earlier, my gentle truth is that I was rejected by my partner's family for wanting to not fight and not argue and not yell and not be in dysfunction. And that situation created a bit of emotional burnout for me. 3 months of trying to support a person who does not want you to be empowered and does not want to feel support will often bring you burnout. But burnout is not a personal failure. It is often a result of sustained care, responsibility, creativity, and survival that doesn't have adequate support. If you're out there and you are caring for people and you're being responsible and you're being creative, but you don't have adequate support, that adds to burnout. We've all felt this before. Grounding yourself after burnout begins with action, and beyond action, it begins with acknowledgement. So it's one thing to take action on what's important to you, but before you ground after burnout, it's important to acknowledge what's actually been happening. When we skip naming what's happened to us, we carry confusion forward. Why did they do that? Why did they say that? Why did I do that? Why did I say that? These are important questions to answer, and we have to name what has happened to us. Naming the challenges that we have in our life is how the nervous system begins to trust again. Have you had any moments in your life where you realized that you were burned out? Not necessarily tired, but just emotionally exhausted and burned out. What were the signs your body and spirit gave you that you ignored at first? Were you trying to see the good in everybody? Were you trying to use the "this too shall pass" mantra and it never passed? What were the signs that your body and your spirit gave you that you ignored at first as it related to emotional, spiritual, and physical burnout? Here's a guided practice or reflection that you can use today in order to help you lift through burnout. And believe it or not, even though we're 5 days into the new year, there are people who are still feeling burnout. They're feeling either the burnout from last year or they've got fresh burnout from starting the year 5 days in. Place one hand on your chest and complete this sentence silently or in writing later. What I went through mattered because, and like I said, some of you all know that I'm going through a huge upheaval in my life. What I went through mattered because I needed to understand that everybody whose family isn't necessarily on my side. What I went through mattered because it's clicking me into how important my dreams of encouraging, equipping, and empowering people are. What I went through mattered because it's showing me my resilience and how strong I am and how compassionately capable my community is. After you complete the sentence, what I went through mattered because let the truth land. I am safe. I am full. I'm enough. What I went through mattered because it's showing me that I'm safe, that I'm full, and that I'm enough. Also, take a moment today to settle into the space that you're in and notice what your body already knows about safety. Listen to what your heart is telling you without the need to correct it. Burnout often pulls us out of the body and into constant management and micromanagement of our lives and situations. Grounding means re inhabiting sensation, coming back home to the sensations of our body without judgment. The body is not an obstacle to healing, the body is an entry point to healing. Grounding in the midst of burnout means coming home to your feelings. How does your breath feel in your body today? Has there been a time in your life where your body clearly communicated enough already? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of being scared. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of feeling unworthy. I'm sick and tired of feeling sick and tired of being exhausted. How did you respond then? And how might you respond differently now? How did you respond then? And how might you respond differently now? Here's another tool you can use to help you move through burnout at the top of the year if you're experiencing that today. Gently scan from your feet to your shoulders. Name three sensations that you're feeling and don't label them good or bad. Just name the three sensations and don't label them good or bad. This, fill in the blank, this tension, this overwhelm, this tightness in my chest, this caffeinated angst. All of those things are neither good or bad. They're just sensations that are passing through our body. In our community Love and Action Network, we emphasize embodied presence through shared pauses, breath, and reflection. Our members learn to trust our bodies again. Not only do we learn to trust our bodies again, but we also learn to trust our bodies at our own pace. We also practice naming our emotions together. In daily boost spaces and peer support spaces, people are allowed to speak honestly without being rushed into solutions. Grounding from burnout happens faster when it happens in community. Support happens faster when it happens in community. Here are two affirmations that I want to leave you with today. The first affirmation that I want to gift you is I'm allowed to name my experience without minimizing it. I am allowed to name my experience without minimizing it. The second question or affirmation is what is my body asking for today that does not require explanation? What is my body asking for today that does not require explanation? What can I just allow to be exactly as it is and to come into a divine acceptance of the present moment and what's unfolding? Thank you today for these shared pauses. Thank you to the community for breathing with us. Thank you for leaning into this idea that you are loved and lovable and worthy of being happy, healthy, and free in the present moment. We're all worthy of happy, healthy, and free. And as Poppy and I rebuild our lives from the ashes, we believe and trust that there's happy, healthy, and free on the other side of this. That we are not Complaint in Action Network or Crying in Action Network or Worry in Action Network. We are Love in Action Network, and goodness and mercy is following us all the days of our lives. And we're going to continue to believe in the growth opportunities and the good that's coming, not only to us, but also to you. So, on behalf of Terra Praolo Studio, Poppy Water 33, and myself, Ask Dr. Flo, live on the ground and in the valley of Savannah, Georgia, we invite you, as always, to stay in your power, to stay in your joy, to stay loved and lovable in your feeling vibration, knowing that you are loved and lovable in every moment of your life. And whether we're in the valley or on the mountaintop, we will continue to show up to encourage, equip, and empower all of you in the best ways we can. And if you're out there and you have been giving to us, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Here's one of the most recent posts that I put on my public Facebook that I'll read to you all. And then we'll be out of here. To everyone who has contributed, shared, checked in, and held us in prayer and intention, thank you. Your generosity has made it possible for us to lift up and out of a deeply unsafe and toxic situation involving my partner's family. Because of you, funds are actively being used for extended stay, temporary housing that I'm broadcasting to you live from. I hope the hotspot is doing a good enough job today. Food, water, and other practical foundations that are required to stabilize and build towards the success of ourselves and the network. In order to ensure safe passage and protect our well being, we've had to place our belongings into temporary storage, and we're currently seeking support for approximately one additional week of extended stay housing so we can complete the transition with dignity and focus. I wish that law enforcement had not been needed to be involved. However, we were refused peaceful access to our belongings and intervention became necessary. Yet, we are grateful that this chapter is now closing and we are relieved to move forward without further contact with that individual. If you are asking how to help today, your continued donations, sharing our fundraiser, offering leads on short term housing, and simply holding us in encouragement makes a real difference for us right now. And please know that I'll be back with these boosts and in touch very soon. Your support has not only provided material help, it's restored our sense of safety, agency, and hope. And we do not take that lightly. So I appreciate you all so very much. I hope that this lands out in Facebook and YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts in the energy in which I set it forth into the world. And I hope that whatever love that you're sending towards us today, whether it's encouragement or time, talent, or treasure, I sincerely pray that it returns to you tenfold. As above, so below. We are thankful to the higher power, and we're thankful to the higher power in us, loved and lovable. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.